Thanks for joining me. My name is Lara Dailey with Aquilino Arts, and I'd like to talk about client relationships. Oftentimes people refer to it as customer relations or customer service. However, as a designer, it's a bit more than that. It really is about forming a relationship in a specific way. You want them to be able to relay their ideas and their wants and their desires, and in order to do that, you really have to form a relationship. So it's not just a one-time thing. You're not at the drive-in at McDonald's and you're picking up a soda pop and a hamburger or a shake and fries. You're developing a relationship, and it's a good thing because you want those people to return to you again and again, and people that have a good relationship with you, and you produce quality, really wow material for them, they'll come back. But you have to have a good relationship in order to produce that quality product. It's more than just customer service. You're a vessel via which they can express their vision and mission. So you may have ideas about how a bakery should have a logo or a website, or what you think should be the important thing that they express in the artwork and their marketing collateral. However, they have their own vision and mission already. They have their own ideas, their own likes, dislikes, their color preferences. They have certain artistic likes and dislikes. For instance, maybe they like things more realistic, or maybe they like things more cartoonish, or maybe they like things more impressionistic. So they already have in mind what they want, more or less. Sometimes they don't know it and they haven't thought it out thoroughly, but it's in there. So forming that relationship with your client is critical in order to produce something that they love and they feel like they've developed a relationship and want to come back to you for more. I want to talk a little bit about how in reality this works. And so I'm going to give you a couple of examples, and I'm going to compare them so that you can understand. So at a particular time in the recent past, I had two clients. One client I was working for creating a brochure, a couple brochures actually. And another client, I was simply working on a logo. And in both instances, I had very different experiences. I had great relationships with both of them. They had been with me for a little while. And one person, the person who I was working with on the brochures, at one point I said, "Thank you for being so blunt and honest about what you want," telling me that that first design wasn't quite hitting the mark. She, in her email, actually sounded like she was laughing and thanked me and said some people call it bossy. And so when I talked to her on the phone, I said, "I was being very sincere. Thank you for telling me that you didn't like that first design and specifically what you didn't like about it, because now we're at that second design and it hits the mark and we're both happy. You're happy, I'm happy." And it was a beautiful design on both the brochures. And she didn't think I was sincere, but the only way that you can give a client what they want is if they're open and honest. So that's the kind of relationship that you want to set up with your clients. You want them, and say it explicitly, say you need them to be open and honest, not worry about hurting your feelings, because you can't give them what they want if they don't give you feedback that's open and honest. "I don't like that color, I don't like that type, it doesn't feel right, why can't we try this?" And then you have to be open to try things that you may not at first think will work or feel right, because you won't know until you do it, and the client won't know until they see it. That doesn't mean you don't have some kind of filter saying this is definitely not a good idea in the realm of design. However, I want to tell you a counter example of something that happened that actually turned out good, but it took a longer route to get there. The other client that I was speaking about to compare to, she was designing her logo with me, and in the midst of the logo, she had shown it to a colleague who happened to be a graphic designer. They gave her feedback, which in her view was negative, and she was afraid to show me the email, and she referenced it, but she seemed very non-specific about the details of the email. Finally, I pushed her and she forwarded it to me. And it took a little bit pushing on my part. And mind you, I had a great relationship with this client already, but sometimes it's hard for people to make that jump and understand that they're not going to hurt your feelings with criticism. So I read through the email, and some of the items that they brought to light weren't valid for her specifically. It didn't express who she was and what she wanted in a logo. But there was one little tidbit in the email that brought it home for me as the designer. And once I made that and applied it to the logo, bam, there it was. She felt it, I felt it, it was there, the logo was perfect, just because of that one comment. And it was very enlightening. It showed me that I really have to push my clients sometimes to be thoroughly honest. And that may be saying it explicitly. Sometimes some clients don't express their emotions on their face or in their voice very well. So you have to push them by giving them some way to define their satisfaction. One client recently, I had to say, you know, I can't see your face. I need to know what you think about this preliminary design. Can you gauge it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being you don't like it at all, 10 being it's perfect, it hits the mark right on the dot. And once I got a gauge that it was at an 8, I said, okay, we're almost there. Now I can move along in the same direction as we were already going, and we just need to tweak things. Whereas if it was closer to 5, a 7, a 6, then I might have been like, okay, what else do we need to do? And then she was able to sit on it a few minutes and say, oh, I'd really like this done, this subtle change done, skinny this down, make this smaller. And so we did that. It looked great, and hopefully we got a 10 on that. That's just recently that we were doing that. The end result is that you really need to push your client not to hurt your feelings. You need to let them know that they're safe with you. They're safe expressing their dissatisfaction. They're safe expressing their wants and desires, and they have a very free zone with you to express that things. A rejection of your design is not a rejection of you. They've already hired you, so you're not being rejected. So don't think of it in terms of that. And you'll do great. You just have to keep that relationship really strong, honest, and open. And I would love to talk some more, but I'm going to let you get back to class. And thank you so much for watching this video.